President Obama delivering his final State of the Union speech last night, addressing the strength of the United States Armed Forces. Joining the conversation now is veterans advocate, talk show host Montel Williams. Montel, good to see you. Thanks for joining the conversation.
Thanks so much for having me and starting with that clip.
Yeah, I mean, I know you had a fairly negative response to the president's words regarding veterans recently. What's your take?
Well, you hear that. We're the greatest fighting force in the world. Our soldiers do the best, yet we still are not giving them the support they need, period. I heard from Paul Rykoff last night, who is, IVIA chairman, and, he's the Iraq-Afghanistan Veterans Association. And he said what the president did last night was very clearly just kick all the military issues down the street, kick it to the next president. He didn't address the fact that we still have 22 soldiers a day committing suicide. He didn't address the fact that we still have delays. He didn't address the fact that everybody who's hawking, let's send 20,000 troops in, remember, none of them have ever sent their children. Those didn't wear uniforms. Just look at the guys that are sitting in Congress right now. 75% of them never served. They don't have a dog in this race, but they're going to send us off and other people off to do the same and not respect us when we're back here. I was a little angry about that.
How do you think the generals that we just showed on TV feel about this whole situation?
I think when they heard him say, we're giving you the most money, they were like, okay, yeah, thanks. But they're also saying, you right now, along with everyone else, is trying to figure out how to put more troops on the ground as quickly as you can. And when you do so, be prepared for what you're going to do when they come home. And I'm tired of hearing all these politicians talk, both sides, talking about what we need to do, but none of them wore a uniform. Yeah. And for us that did, it's really, to me, it's almost tantamount to just embarrassing, because look what happened. We had 10 soldiers kidnapped, I'll call them kidnapped, arrested last night.
Yeah,
had they not been let out, who was going to go get them? None of Congress's children, none of the guys who are talking right now. They're going to send over a couple soldiers, one or two of them get popped. When do they go see them at Walter Reed or Bethesda? They don't. Look, I go down there, and they don't.
It's extraordinary that Iran captured 10 sailors on the day of the State of the Union. Yes. It's almost like Iran is taunting us.
I think it was a smack.
Smack in the face.
I think that was a direct smack in the face. And the fact that, okay, I'll let him go at 2 o'clock in the morning after his speech, I think it was a direct smack in the face. And I think we should be looking at that very clearly with jaundiced eyes before we send more troops over to do it.
But they're chanting death to America, and we're the great Satan, and we bent over backwards to ink this Iran nuclear deal, and we are still, Montel, ignoring every act of aggression, ignoring, pulling back on sanctions.
I agree, 100%. I'm not differing with you on this at all. I'm saying that the deal should not be going forward right now, especially right now. With that provocation last night showing us clearly, I'm going to do whatever I want to do, nose to you. We should try to figure out how we stop our portion of this deal.
But, Montel, do you think it was more than that, though? Because I've been on these ships on troop support missions, and they always canvass up the most important technology that's on the ship, all of the sophisticated radar and sonar. So don't you think it was really that expedition?
They wanted that technology.
100%.
Oh, there was 4 hours.
Well,
they were able to go through crypto, go through everything there. This has happened before.
That's what has me
Gulf
the
of
most worried
Tonkin,
about.
remember?
Sure.
Gulf of Tonkin, remember? So what we should have happened last night, unfortunately, we don't know any of the technical details of what took place when they were captured. Those ships should have been sunk.
What did they learn from our ships, Montel? What did they learn from our ships?
Anything they would want to know, because the amount of crypto and the amount of technology that's on there would be something that, let's see what the ships look like when we get them back.
It's a super important point. Okay, you go on the deck. They cover up all of the sophisticated radar technology, all the sophisticated communications technology, even American citizen and not in the military. And so we have a lot of classified information on our ships and subs, our airplanes, all of which got in the hands of these guys for 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah, and we lost contact with them, so we don't know what went on those ships.
Correct. So I guess overall general consensus from most of the soldiers and people I'm listening to on the Twitterverse is that they were extremely angry with last night's speech. They would hope that this president would have said, I'm going to do the following before I leave, because it was very easy. All these executive orders that he's passing, he could have passed one that said, let's do X, Y, Z for the VA.
Right,
and it could have been done, and has not been done yet. So we can exercise the pen for those things that you might believe matter, but for me, it's those people who put the uniform on that protect this democracy that matter the most.
Who's the best veterans candidate that you see in either party right now?
Wow.
You don't have an answer?
You hurt me. Really? I'm so sorry. It's not on the Democratic side, so let's flip to the Republican side. If I was going to pick one, it would be Kasich. Period. And I said this during a break. I'm so sorry. That's, to me, the only adult in the room.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, he's not getting any traction just because of personality and optics. And we also said something during a break, and that, you know, maybe it's those dark horses that have not announced yet. Even so many people are saying it's too late. I don't believe that. I think we live in a society right now that responds to the news and responds to celebrity and responds to what we cover. The right person steps up with the right amount of money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, Bloomberg.
You're talking about
he steps up with the right amount of money. Tomorrow, this could be a whole nother race.
Yeah. Real quick, Hillary Clinton tweeted last night saying, "I'm proud to be President Obama's friend. Great State of the Union speech." Does Hillary Clinton's potential presidency look like President Obama's?
No. Not at all. I don't think they look even close. When you start taking apart what she says when we get to real debates, you're going to find that she's a little bit so far further left. How much further left can you be?
She's further left than Obama?
Wait.
She's further left than Bernie Sanders on things like gun control.
On certain things. And so I think you're going to be a little bit surprised. And, you know, did the president last night endorse anyone? I didn't hear an endorsement. Did you?
Well, he said no. He publicly has said that he's not endorsing anybody until the primaries are over.
Right.
That's a presidential thing to do. But I think it's important to make this distinction. The reason why I think she's doing so poorly is she will move wherever she thinks she needs to move pursuant to these focus groups. And so now it's further to the left of Bernie Sanders, and she's doing worse relative to Bernie Sanders than she did with Barack Obama 8 years ago.
Can I make one more point? Everybody wants to make it a given that this is going to be the nominee. But I really want you to stop. Most people that I'm talking to, Democrats. I'm an independent. I have been an independent for 15 years. Most Democrats, family members that I talk to, are still trying to come up with excuses not to.
I feel like most people are sort of hanging out in the middle. You might lean to the right, you might lean to the left, but you're hanging out in the middle. Montel, always great insights from you.
Thank you so much for
having me. Appreciate it. Montel Williams there. We'll be right back.
Thanks for your support of the troops.
Thank you.